Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest. And we are going to do an episode of Search for Fairies with me. We have not done that in a while. So I'm going to find a picture at random here. We're in Ball Cemetery for March 20th. Or no, March 2019, I believe it is. So we're just going to find one. All of these in folders here have been already gone through. So let's see here. Just pulling one at random. This one's kind of interesting looking. So let's see what we have. Might take a minute for it to come up. All right, so here is the picture. It's number 6752. And if I remember correctly, it's kind of on the path corner. I think that Ball Cemetery would be to the right, and this is going back down the path to the car. So let's see what we have here. We're going to pop it up to 200% as we always do. And see if we can get it to go where we want it to instead of where it wants to. Okay, so we're just going to start scrolling over and seeing if we can find any fairies that are poking their head out. The taller grass is kind of tough for finding fairies in. Not exactly sure why, but it's just a little harder. Interestingly, and remember, they can form themselves using whatever they choose, and in whatever way they choose. We might catch them going in, we might catch them going out of the picture. I see here almost looks like the profile, because we see an eye and kind of fuzzy whiskers and an ear, nose, just the head here of possibly a fairy. Not real sure on that, so we're just going to keep going for now. Might come back to that. So we continue to go, and also remember, since it's been a while, that these fairies tend to like to try to blend to their surroundings. And when they do, they often try to match the color of the green or whatever color they're in. And sometimes that's how we see them, is because the blend just isn't quite exact. Nature's hard to copy. So we might find them because they haven't quite matched. So always look for like mismatched colors, something that really stands out. And I am not seeing anything that I want to bring to your attention on this level. So let's go up a level. And we do that by finding a spot that we're comfortable with here. I think I'll use this up here, and I'll just scroll it on up until that's at the bottom and start over here. And I do see fairies in here, don't get me wrong, they are here, but some of them are so small that it would be one of those, these are ones I keep for myself kind of things. For instance, this one right here. You know, we have a very interesting hat, almost like hats that you see Asian people wear in like a rice field, and also the darker clothing. But again, I can't be certain that that is a fairy because there's not a lot of detail there. So moving over. Now I see up here, this is kind of an interesting creature right here. Keep that one in mind. We're going to go back and look at that one here shortly. let's get all the way across first and see if we see any other ones. Always remember to look in the tree bark, because that's a great place to blend into, is tree bark. I don't know if all fairies have the ability to do that, but I've found a good number of fairies in tree bark. Okay, so almost to the edge. Now we have a couple of things that I want to take a look at coming over here. We are at the edge. And also, word to the wise, don't miss the edges. There are times that I have actually seen the clearest beings on the edge, and you only get half of them, hopefully the front half. All right, so one is right here. Now that is a very interesting, kind of out of place color for this area. Obviously, whatever it is has two eyes, a very large nose, a head, seemingly a dark shoulder here. I would take that one for myself as an interesting fairy. So yeah, let's pull that one. Take it down to 100%. And we're going to crop it. So we'll go here. Crop that one. Make it bigger by 100. So it says 116. We'll go 216. And then we're going to save it. And we are going to make a folder with 6752, which is the number that we have, 6752. And I'm going to move the original photo into that folder so we don't lose it. All right, right there. And go back to that folder, 6752. And now this picture that we just did is going to be, I'm just going to add an A to the end, like so. Save it. Okay. So then when we go back and look, we have 6752 and we've got 6752A. All right, so now we'll just undo image size and we'll get back to the full picture. Then we'll scroll over and we're going to outline this so we don't lose where it was. And we'll do red. There it is. Deselect so we can, whoops. Deselect so we can keep going. All right, so let's make this big again to 200%, which it is. We can see that here. And we're going to go down again to the very bottom and go back up again to the next level. As I said, there's a couple of them that we need to look at. So we were using this up here. Let's get my pointer again. Using this up here as our guide to where to come down to. All right, so I'm going to go all the way over again. And the other thing that caught my eye was right here. I'm going to come up a little because, yeah, see, she's hidden. We can see a being here. Here's an arm, here's an arm, here's the body, part of it covered by this bright leaf. We have hair, we can see the profile of a face. She's in the sun, but she's kind of mistakable, and she's pretty human looking, actually. There might even be a little friend here, but I don't know for sure. So I'm going to take her too. So we're going to drop this back down to 100%, and you can really see her. Oh, didn't mean to do that. You can really see her here when you drop her down to 100%. And even whatever this is, this might be her pet. It might be a friend giving her a ride. So anyway, we're just going to take her for now. What the heck? We'll just take them both. How's that? All right, so do that, and then we will... So it's at 128, so we'll do 228. And we will save as. This one will be B. Save. Drop it back down, undo image crop. There we go. And then we'll find her and outline her right there. The both of them. Stroke. Okay. And deselect. All right, so now we can go back up, and there is, I think, two more. There are two more that I want to take a look at on that level, on that tier. Yeah, it just doesn't want to go where I want it to go, does it? Oh, goodness. Okay, so going up. All right. So the other one that I saw is right here. Now, right between here. It's a very interesting look. And the only reason I'm looking at it more than once is because it has eyes. Here's an eye. Here's an eye. Okay. And there is a hand here. Can you see that? I'll try to take it up one more. I don't like to do that, but... Okay, so here are fingers right here. This one's a little oddly large due to the light, but these other ones are fingers. And we can even see, I don't want to call it a pupil, but the iris of the eye in one of them. And it's just the shape. So this is almost a robotic looking being, or what we would consider robotic. So I don't think I'm going to let that one slip by. I am going to grab it because it is unique. And if it weren't for the fingers and the eyeball, I probably would leave it alone. Oh, can't do that. We have got to shoot. I was still at 200%. We got to drop that down. So I forgot I was at 300% to show you and forgot to drop it all the way. So let's grab him. Because like I said, he is unique. So sometimes it's just something that you don't ever have to show anybody. This is at 111. We'll go 211. But you might want to have these for yourself because that's pretty fascinating, that one is. I've found some really interesting beings in the photographs. And, you know, if you have too tight of an idea about what these beings should look like, you are going to miss some really amazing creatures. All right, so we now have those. Deselect, there we go. And we're going to take this back up to 200%. And again, I have one more, but I want to make sure that I'm on the start of the tier here, just in case. It's always good to go back and start where you were, which was right here, because sometimes you end up seeing more than what you saw previously. It's not that hard to miss them. All right, so now the one that I was interested in that I wanted to go back and look at is right here. And I'm going to actually push that up just a little bit. Now, this one is almost fish-like. And again, I will try to pop this up to 300% for you so I can show you this a little bit better. All right, so we have an eye here. We have an eye here. It's a very rounded head. Here's the lips, but this looks like it might be part of the body also. Now this is pretty much the head, and it's hard to tell. It looks like it might have hair, but kind of hard to see. But that is a unique being, especially when you note the grass around it is just these long stems. There's nothing round in them. So I will take that back down to 200% and take it down one more time to 100%. We're going to grab that one too. Now, can you see that on the screen here? It's pretty amazing round being there. All right, so we are at 111 again, and we'll take it up to 211. Yeah, that's pretty neat. So again, color-wise too, it's not matching exactly to what you see around for the grass. As I said, that's kind of another clue for you. All right, so we save, and this is D. Okay, and then we'll go back to our original picture and get that one outlined. It's right here. So stroke, red, and deselect. All right, so let's get this back up to 200% again and go back down to where we began. Back over, so this is what we were using right here, right here. So we're going to go back up to that, and always go through it at least twice just to see, you know, if you missed anything. And then, you know, chances are later on, if you go to take a look at the pictures that you've gotten, let's say a week, maybe two later, even longer, you may discover something that you didn't see before. And you'll be saying, how could I have missed that? All right, so I'm not really seeing anything. We have things like this, the little black and white, and I can kind of see an ear here, and here's like a little muzzle, like it's an animal. But again, without having more detail, it's very hard to tell. And, you know, I see little peeking faces pretty much everywhere, but not anything that I would try to share with anybody. All right, so now we're going to move up another tier, and I think we'll use this right here, up here at the top. Bring that down to the bottom. All right, so very carefully going through. We've done pretty good on this photograph, considering we haven't gotten a whole lot on a lot of the videos for Search for Fairies with me. But every once in a while we get really lucky. And this was drawn at random. So, and again, don't forget to look at this. And as you can see, you know, there's always things like this that kind of look like They could be a being, and they very well could. However, I don't have enough detail in that one to really say for sure. So if we look here at the bark, I do see something, and I'm just going to keep going over here quickly, and I'll come back to it. It might surprise you because it's kind of a unique one. And I think I may see another who decided to try and blend in. We're going to keep going here for just a minute. Need to pull down just a titch for a sec. Not quite enough. Okay. Okay. Now again, we have ones like this. Okay. That is a feasible possibility because around this one, there's not a lot here that would be that kind of color. I mean, we have this, we have these. These are obviously iris type flowers, but this one's kind of alone by itself, and I can see an ear and a forehead, an eye, and kind of a protruding nose, somewhat of a nose here. Here we have a shoulder, what looks like a shoulder. So I think we will probably use that one. So we might as well grab him. And I'll go back to the other two here shortly. So go back to 100%, and he's right there. Yeah, he sticks out pretty good. All right, so there's that one. A little bit smaller than the other ones have been. 67 pixels. So we're going to go 167. And look at that. Yeah, we can definitely see that a little bit better there. So we will go save as and do an E. And then undo image size, undo crop, and find him again so we can circle him up. There he is. All right. Do a red stroke. Okay. And deselect. All right. So now we'll go back up to 200%. Go down to the start as always. I know this may seem like a little bit of a waste of time to keep doing this, but it is my way of making sure that I don't miss anything. So I think where we were, let's make sure, I think we were somewhere around in there. Anyway, yeah. All right, so going back across, and as I'm going, I am double checking here. All right, so here's one that's kind of interesting. She's right here. All right, she has blended in, looks like pretty well. We see a head right here. Okay, we see an eye, a nose. Looks like she might have, I don't know if that's hair or kind of a hair piece. Here's part of her body, okay? She's reaching her arm around to hang on to this here, it looks like. We barely see a hand, and this is the lower part of her body. So we have pretty much a whole-bodied little being here. So let us pull her separate here, and that might allow you to see her a little better. Let me grab her. All right, so there she is. Crop, and we're at 77, so we'll put her at 177. Okay, not sure if you can see her super clearly or not, but yeah, she's a full body pretty much. And we will save her as an F. So I've got A through F so far. And get her marked out here. Here she is. She really does stand out. When you pull the picture back to 100%, she really does stand out. And you will notice that, you know, once you see them, they're very hard to unsee. But then if you don't mark them the way that I'm marking them right now, and you have saved one, and you go back to try and find it, sometimes they're pretty hard if you don't remember where you were at, what you were looking at for sure, and what tier you might have been in. And yeah, so that's why I mark them as we go, because I don't really want to have to be doing the photograph again and perhaps miss something that I've already gotten along the way. Okay. All right, so there's one more along this part. And again, that one really stands out to me, but not enough detail. However, this one does right here. Let me get the pointer. All right, so it's part of the tree trunk, obviously. But when you look, it is, here's the back of the head, kind of separated away from the tree. And we have an eye, we have a nose, we have a mouth, upper lip. Here's more of the body. Not sure where the legs would be, but this is a pretty clear, and if you take it back to 100%, you can see that it sticks out from the rest of the tree. So we're going to grab that one also. And where are we at here? Image size, it's at 89. We'll go 189. See, look at that. We can definitely see the face. And the mouth. The mouth really stands out, and that's part of what it is. What made me notice was the mouth. Save as. This is G. That was my Chihuahua snoring, if you heard that kind of grunty sound. And we will take this up a little bit, grab this, and grab that, and there we go. All right, so now we'll take it back up to 200% and go the next tier up the picture. And so we start at the bottom, work our way up, go up to there, and go up to here. And I believe we just have a little bit more left, but you never want to miss. I'm going to use that as a mark. We probably don't need it. No, we do not. Okay. So let's just go across the top here and see if there's anything we can see. And I still look here, you know, just in case I have missed something. And all the way across. It wouldn't be the first time I would find something in the upper levels, if there was something. People don't look up very often, it seems, and not everyone, of course, but Most people don't look up a whole lot. All right, so I believe we have covered all of this picture. I'm not seeing anything in that last little bit. So if we move the photo over and up a little bit at 100%, we can see that we have 4 here, 5, 6, 7. Is that it? All right, so A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. I believe that is correct. All right, so let's take a look. Yep, A through G. That's a very nice one, isn't it? All right, so we do want to save the one that has all the markings, so we're just going to pull it back up, replace the G with the word marked, M-A-R-K-E-D, and save that. So then if we look, open it up, there it is. So we have the original, which we always want to keep the original, and then we have the marked photo, that is this one, and then all the little ones that we've found along the way. Okay, so thank you so much for searching for fairies with me, and we will see you again next time. Take care.